Good afternoon. We are so excited to present at the Science Gateways Community Institute. Our topic is about aid to data, a tutorial. That means an advanced integral digitalization to digital archiving and transformed analytics. We're from Lane College, located in Jackson, Tennessee. Before we get started, I want to say maybe we have some questions in our mind. That was something we find a solution to give answers. So for instance, the first one, maybe you have the similar questions. How difficult is it to express user interface design? The current situation may be usually hard to do user design, right? But our answer would be this: user interface design with little coding. That means much easier. The second question: how easy is it to engage in hybrid learning? I adapted a saying, it is easier said than done. But here we say, it is easier escaped than engaged. Sounds beautiful, right? Our answer is this: hands-on interactivity and spontaneity. That means give you more freedom to be more interactive, active to do the job. So you feel more engaged with whatever you are in the context. The third question sounds a big question: how easy it is to explore in breadth and depth. You may be curious. We never thought about it. We just change a web page, look at it, change another one, back and forth. But here, this would be the traditional issues we say, like a chasing after web pages. But our solution is user-centric experience. Via, we say, CIA, that's kind of framework. So we are going to disclose to you. So our aim to advance integral digitalization, that's for the good purpose. Before we get into the content, I want to introduce a little bit about the theoretical foundations about our solution. We say computational thinking includes 4 parts. If you have a huge problem to solve, you do decomposition to break down to smaller pieces. That is going to be easier to handle or to process. Decomposition. The second one, you have something, you break down some parts. So you need to figure out some common features or something. Usually we have to apply abstraction, right? Conceptually, abstraction that can repeat it to use some idea like that. The third one, sometimes we want to have one solution to solve a similar or family of problems. We call that kind of similarity to help us to recognize some patterns for reuse. So the last part is very important, always those. That means we are going to use computational solutions to fulfill or implement the solution. So here, when we talk about aid to data via computational thinking, the first one, I would like to introduce you to advanced framework of digital archiving. CIA for user-centric experience with little coding. So 2 parts applied from computational thinking. Number 1, decomposition. That's why we need a framework. Number 2, abstraction. They find some general concept to use. The second part, integral data for machine learning. We hate to do a single trivial work. Computer is so stupid sometimes. We human beings, we're proud of it. So we want to use computer to do automation for us. So here, integral data, why we mention integrity? If the data is not integral, there's no way to do a perfect automation, right? So we say pattern recognition for universal interface. Here I use this exclamation mark in programming. That means no coding. Are you there with me? So the last one also very important. We have some algorithm. Algorithm usually means a sequential of steps for you to do the job, computationally or humanly. So here we say digitalization for transformed analytics. ITOP means instant texting, not HTML, hiding coding sound, only texting. Everybody can do the job. And online publishing, instant. So we apply those 4 parts to support our aid to data. Now, I'm going to ask Clara to share something about user-centric experience. Your turn, go ahead.
Yeah, so another unique part of this platform is the emphasis on user-centric experiences through the way data is displayed and constructed. So in a lot of websites nowadays, when you are trying to navigate through the site, you're most likely going to be clicking on links that open different tabs, and those tabs can even create additional tabs, and then you just have this kind of maze of tabs that you're trying to figure out where you were, where the home page is, and really it takes away from the overall experience. As a matter of fact, there's been research from many articles, one of which basically laid out the fact that, tabbed browsing adds a whole nother level of complexity to the web browser interface. And really, this is just another necessary task that distracts users from the ultimate goal. So this is really important when we're looking at education and, when students are trying to use websites or platforms to learn. The fact that different tabs can create even more confusion can result in just a lot more unclarity in the concepts. So rather than that, this platform really pulls them in, lets them focus on one thing, and keeps them there. So that's where we can dive into the actual platform. So the way the layout is organized is to mimic a C, and that is why it's called the CI, to user-centric experience via the CIA triad. So I will just go and break it down. The first aspect of the screen is the contextual expression. So this is the tab at the top that has basically a brief of everything that will be within that module. And this is really representative of how to organize the complexity of content management with as little coding as possible. So if you can see just in the side visual, whenever a user clicks on that bar, there's a pop-up that expands and gives it more context for whatever was within that first tab. Exactly, you can see the transition. There's also interactive engagement. So the interactivity is fulfilled to be actionable at any point that is necessary. And this really represents a means of how to deliver the content without having to swap between pages. So with this, the user is able to see kind of all the different content that's available. And they're also given the freedom to navigate between modules, between content, and it really allows for a more customized experience. And then finally, accessible exploration. So at the lower end of the pages, there's a bar that represents how to archive content biographically, as well as the coursework collectively. So instead of going from page to page, trying to navigate, this is all stored in a chronological area in a very refined section of the page. And this is also expandable, so it just again reiterates how the platform is really able to keep users within the context of what they're trying to learn, within the context of what they're trying to navigate, while allowing them to put all the data and information and content that they want.
Okay, now we come to universal interface via machine learning automaton. When we talk about machine learning, automaton sounds like a big word. Actually, that's a big intelligence. Human being can make the computer more smarter or more intelligent. So usually with a machine learning automaton involves four following aspects. You can see the whole picture. We have an iPad. But iPad is not necessarily means Apple's iPad, but that means informative, personal assistant device. This could be tablet, laptop, cell phone, smartphone, iPad itself. So this means the device the user is going to use. Then when you click on or operate on it, there is an idea behind, supported the automation. We call that information-driven elastic automation. Elect means very flexibly, a little bit vivid, that kind of idea. Elastic, not a stiff one. So what kind of things support this idea to be presented on the iPad? iData. That means integral data or digital archiving and transformed analytics. So here, iData is foundational stuff with a lot of intelligence integrated to support a lot of great stuff. But the last one is the most important ones toward end users. That's iTop. That means instant texting and online publishing. We emphasize instant texting means most users can use it by typing something in or texting something. You don't have to understand we are using HTML or JavaScript. Forget about those things. Instant texting, just like to type something in, then it should be working. But back end is machine learning automaton. So now it's going to be Dr. McCarthy, Elijah McCarthy's turn. So would you please introduce something about this?
Yes, so just like Dr. Liaise just mentioned, so machine learning makes a lot of complicated things look a lot easier. So complicated problems, computationally intensive problems can just be broken down to very simple ones that can be solved in a flip of a second or a few minutes just by virtue of using machine learning algorithms or models. Now, in this context, if we have, let's say you have a database that has data that is stored in a remote server. Now, that data can be put into specific patterns and stored in that database. Now, that data can be passed through some automation where, and in this particular case, we are referring to that as the machine learning automation or automaton. It can be passed, the data can be passed through some automation or automaton and then displayed on to the user. It can be through an iPad. Okay, here in an iPad basically use that to signify like a laptop or a computer or a cell phone. So you have data stored in a remote server. Before that data gets outputted or displayed on the user's end, on a cell phone or on an iPad, it goes through some automation. And that automation basically helps to display it so that the user can understand. Now, within that, we can have iTop. This iTop, which is our main focus here, is based off a machine learning automaton. Now, that takes in a pattern, passes that follows a pattern that goes through a machine learning automation or automaton. Now, you have the user basically have to put in some kind of input that follows a specific pattern. It passes through a machine learning automaton and is displayed on the iPad for you. So instantly you test something, it passes through a machine learner, which is a machine learning automaton, and then the results displayed instantly for you. So on the next slide over here, we can see that it says, okay, there is the icon over here, the iTap icon. That's the arm that is writing. You click on that, it asks you to put in something. It asks you to test to type something. Like over here, say, Sheldon, you are verified to go ITAP. And once you click on go, just by virtue of you putting in the input, it passes through a machine learner, a machine learning automation, and then it comes up with an instant output for you that is published. Okay. Now, on the next slide, what happens behind you seeing the display on your iPad or on your screen is a machine learner. Okay, it's a pattern that goes through a machine learning automaton. Now, just like in every program you would have to initialize some variables. There's going to be loops, then there's going to be the end of the program. That's exactly what happens through the machine learning automaton. But in this particular case, we are just dealing with patterns. So the pattern can just take a key, have specific values that would be like within the loop where there will be an iteration, and then there is the end. So on the next slide, we'll see here we have MID1, that is a key. Associated to that key, we have best education and some other variables. So we have the key, we have the variables. Now the variables through ITAP using the machine learning automaton are displayed. Like over here, we see the best education on the far right, the very first thing on the top. Then we see the next value, which is learning module, come up on the far right as well. And then we see the educational matter come up on the far right as well. So these are values are passed to the machine learner and then all the machine learning automaton, and then they are displayed for you instantly or published for you instantly. And so based off a key, you have values associated, and these are displayed on the iPad for you.
Awesome, thank you very much. Now we can see we started to open our CI. That means the contextual, interactive, and accessibility through the data to support data transformation. So you may have some questions, and we are happy to hear your question. We would like to give you some answers or explore. Maybe, most likely, you may be more interested. We are going to demo how does that CIA triad framework looks like, and how the machine learning, something like that. Tell me how many minutes? Now, no worries, we'll continue. So here is the question section. We may expect you to ask some questions, or based on questions, we can give you an answer, or most likely we can do some demo. You will see it very visual, and also it's very vivid for you to follow with us. Now, I'm going to get out of here. I go into here, you see this, we actually in the context. So this part, we have a lot of presentations. We call this CI, the core, with a lot of things. Let's say you want to cheer up with some great singing, you can hear it. This is from Harvard. Let's listen for 30 seconds. See the video playing in the context. You did not go nowhere. You stay here, or you can choose another thing to play. So when we're talking multimedia, that includes videos or slides or something like that. So we have a lot of things. So you can see when you finish, no worries, don't need to worry too much about how you get that back. Just close the eye. That's the CI, the core, the center of the CI. On the top, we call this is kind of, we say CIA top frame, right? This is going to give you a browsing in depth and the breadth. What I mean, see, we have the breadth. Let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aspects. You can swap to see them, right? The this means in the breadth. And also every bar like this, you can open up, go to the depth. Are you there with me? So go to the depths, see, we have Great Clara Hall, we have Patricia, we have McCarthy, Elijah. So you can open them up, that's real. But this one not finished yet, but mine is real too. See? So this is just one piece of cake. You can get this job done as a new CIA framework. So this is when you finish, come out. Then you are going to try another one, let's say interactivity. So here, you lay out a lot of things. Those are real exercise, but here is a sample, right? How you do something. Everything is active. You can see this is how vivid, but here is a sample. So you can see this part, and also this part, you see, you can go in more depth. And here, this is actually an essay. We are going to have an exercise for this part. And see, you open up this, we call it kind of code sheet, allows you to finish step by step. And each step is going to prioritize, ask you to focus on one piece of code. That kind of idea. But this code is instant texting message, not exact code. When you finish, you can submit, or you just get out of here. Okay, so here, when you finish this part, this is for you to have summarized understanding in depth and breadth, which means you can spontaneously explore anything you are interested in. When you finish, get out of here. Then this bar with a lot of things, you can play video. Usually, if you think about like prioritize something, this is video. So this video is about computational thinking, resolving some giant problems. If you have a chance, you can take a look at this. So this is that, and also our presentation here, Word doc, and also we have some radio stations. Actually, this from Lane College Radio. Not very many people try it, but you can play it. Dancing, singing, right? So you can hear this real. You can put this as a background music. You can still continue to explore. You hear it? I know that's too loud. I got it back. Then shut down. See, this multitasking allows you to have more fun. Experience something, exploring something, and also while listening to something you really like. It's not like chasing after web pages, one, another one, you get lost. Okay, here, this actually, we say, this is something, we have a lot of things, I'll put it here as a folder for you to focus on sometimes, see? But this is similar to that kind of context, right? We have a trial, we will try this later. And also those modules are openable. They have the similar thing, but just this is sequentially for your learning process or learning progress. The other one for you spontaneously to explore something you may be interested in. So give you freedom to explore or give you the very regular sequential process for you to continue. That's kind of idea. So when you finish, see, we have something weekly basis, right? You can lay out some content. So you see, those learning modules is very helpful. So here, I would amaze you. I already made a lot of real or fake users. So if you inform me before this, you're supposed to find yourself with your name. So you can directly create this in 1 minute. Let me show you. So for instance, I created this and we have Dr. McCarthy. So I'm going to show you how you do instant ITAR. So you look at here, this is empty. But you can start from here right away. So this is his image, right? Go to instant ITAR. You just need to import a course bio. Sounds like you are an instructor or a professor. You lay out a courseware in a CIA triad framework. There you go. This pop-ups, to be honest, is unnecessary, but this keep you informed on the right track. Then you see automation is there. Actually, you can do a lot of customized thing, but usually you can see something just like a text message. You have something here, see, picture, and what you are going to bring out, integrate something. So then when you're done, upload. So you will see it right away. This would take maybe months, maybe still cannot get a job done like this perfectly. So here just kind of pop out because you imported something, then something a little bit tiny conflict, but this just pop out. You have the same key or something, but it's okay. The new one replaced the old one. So now, look at here. You are going to see Dr. McCarthy is here. This is similar like the CIA. You can open this up, but we reuse the data. Actually, in the future, we can make more sense like computer science, physics, math, different things. You can have different, these kind of things, right? Then also we have different modules with the best educational module. Open it up. You haven't finished yet. Okay, that's the next step. And also you can play some videos right away here. Actually, this is me. Hello, everyone. My name looks neat, right? Thank you. So you can see, and also if you have some students, this usually beneath here. You can bring this out. So this is Dr. McCarthy. You can run it separately. See, this makes me zoom in to only focus on that, not affect it in the context. So this more like you are going to present something. And also you can play some slideshow with your students. If student has some account on yours, so you can see students showing up, or you can have some music. So you can see this is from one of my students at her pageant show. So I collect this, and you can do this in a very brief way. You just input a link or upload something, then everything goes there. So you can see this is also, you have an eye to look into. This is different. See, this is from my teaching on Blackboard collaborative. This is also real. Look at how I teach. Oh, face to face, wearing the mask. But that's real, right? But unfortunately, this one I forgot to unmute. Later on, I opened. So when you finish up, shut it down, see? So this is how convenient. So we have Dr. McCarthy done this way. So everybody, later on, we're going to have a breakout room, and then we could go from here. So I will send out a link. Only one link, you can get everything. And you can choose one of the persons here I laid out. If you open a person, remember this is Brian, OB, open. If no, so you're going to do instant texting and online publishing or iTalk from here. That's pretty much beautiful, right? So also, I would like to show you one more thing. Do an exercise. Let's say we have McCarthy down. So here we lay out some important exercise. So for instance, here we have a collaboration. You can have somebody joining you right away to do the job. So everybody is going to pick up a slide with your name. So for instance, this is my presentation. I explain, then this is my answer, but usually I did it last. Other students did their job. You can see their names. They pick up a name. Usually we have more than needed, right? Now with this ready, we're so happy to see when you finish, we can present it right away. So we use this to review our students' collaborative coursework. So this is more engaging and more interesting to our students, but in the simplest, easiest way, right? So I would say this a lot. And another one, this is kind of an assay. You can see it. The coding is kind of key and value. Let me go a couple of steps. Okay, so you can see this is another exercise, but usually you can get some manual to open this up to see, but apparently here we use this repeated, but if we have a real value manual, you can study on it, then you can do the exercise. So with every single exercise, you have a manual to review, or you can go hands-on by watching the video. We usually take recording, right? That's pretty much, and also you can submit your work right away from here. Let's say you already finished the job, you can submit your work. Sometimes you need to submit so-called code, but not traditional ones. You say, but this is just kind of basic text. When you finish upload, then you can look at your work. See, you have final. All the submissions would be like this. These are all real. And so you can see, so this is very convenient. You have some exercise prioritized for students to finish up, then they can see their work to submit here right away. That's pretty much. Thank you so much, very much. I believe if you are very interested, I believe you are. So we're going to have a breakout room, and our team members is going to guide you through. And usually you just need to import a CIA kind of framework, then we can go from there. And also we have different templates like church or like a personal profile or something. So we have simple ones, we have more complex ones, but everything is there. So thank you very much for your attention. Now for your attempting to try something. Thank you.